Bear on, Bears fans. Another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. The Friday edition is here. That means we get the mailbag with the good kid. Your questions answered on today. And, of course, we got to talk a little OTAs as some of these questions do and some of the things I saw yesterday. Good kid might have surprised you a little bit from how we've seen practices before. Dare I say, one of the more aggressive practices we've seen for the last 20 minutes of practice, should I say.
All I really care about is that the offense starts getting implemented, that quarterbacks begins the process of becoming comfortable. I don't think they've thrown a million things at him right now. I think they're doing their introduction the way they normally would do their introduction of the play calls. He'll handle it, and they'll handle more, and they'll handle more, and they'll handle more. And that's just the process of it. Nobody gets the whole book thrown at it. You learn the basics first, and everything comes off the basics. So, that's all I'm really worried about. And then I'll be the judge. I went to one practice last year. It was supposed to be the toughest practice in the world. Yeah. It was a complete waste of time.
I will say this, and I remember the practice you went to. The last 20 minutes of what we saw yesterday was more physical than all that. Now, no pads for the big guys and stuff like that. But
so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Like I said, I promise you one practice, if that practice is productive, and I'll find out which one it is. The one that's supposed to be the most physical, you know how they build up. Crescendo, it's the most physical, then they go down. We'll see if that's something that he does again this year, or if these practices, like he did last year, or if they become more productive.
Are pointless,
We'll see. People get hurt all the time in the NFL. Injury is part of the NFL. Having a deep team is what's necessary to be able to make a run. And now they've even given you a chance and an opportunity where if a guy gets hurt early, you can bring him back off of injured reserve.
Absolutely.
I think you can do that with two players now. So they've addressed that. I think it should be, I don't think you can do it unlimited, but I think if they increase the number to 4 or 5, because if you blow an Achilles, you're done for the year. You tear your ACL, you're done for the year. But say you got a guy that broke a leg or broke an arm. Well, 6 weeks from now, he's going to be fine. He could be ready to get in. 8 weeks at the top, a couple weeks to rehab it, maybe build the muscle. Boom, maybe get back in condition. So maybe they should increase that number up there to that. But injuries are going to be a part of training camp. They always are. They've got 90 players in training camp. We used to only have 80 players. Before that, they used to have unlimited amount of players. So
how many players were showing up to training camp for the unlimited one?
They used to have 27 nose tackles come in, and they put them through the rigors. And then, after the first 20 minutes, they'd let half of them go. And then send the 13 guys through the paces again. And after that, they'd let 8 more go. Then they'd settle on 5 guys that they might want to bring to training camp.
What
a
way to run it. What a way to run it.
They didn't care. The 80s, they didn't want everybody in training camp. They didn't want all 27 in training camp. But they brought them all in and said, okay, let's have a party. All 27 didn't make training camp.
Right.
They came in, 5 ended up going to training camp. And that's the way
And then you end up making your cut downs.
From there, 2 made the team probably. If they were defensive tackles, you probably took 8 to camp, and you cut 4 of them, and you kept 4 of them. Yeah. So that's when it was unlimited, and guys were going crazy. But they quickly, they cut that because the expenses were getting a little bit too much.
Yeah, you got to pay 27 nose tackles to be there for 20 minutes.
That's why nobody ever made it.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll bring you in for a tryout, see if you can come to training camp with us. But they used to say it was a free for all. Guys that played in the 80s, they used to say, "What the H is going on over there?"
I got one bit of news from training camp that instantly stood out to me. That I thought, or not for training camp, from OTAs, that instantly stood out to me that I thought I had to bring back to the good kid. Dare I say, the man that you have dubbed Gervin.
Yep, Dexter Gervin Jr.
Gervon Dexter.
Gervon, that's it, not Dexter. Gervin, I call him.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Looking slim, looking lean. I don't know if he's cut a ton of weight or if he's turned it into muscle or not. Right. He came in 312 last season. I don't know if he's gotten that down to a lean 300. But I will say, looks like he has the penetrating style down. I saw no hesitation from him. I saw no, thinking process from him. I know it's not a ton and there's no pads on. Right. But it seems like he is used to the system and ready to go for the position that he needs to take on.
I think at the beginning of last year, Pickens was ahead of Dexter.
Yeah.
Just coming out, I think Pickens was more of a rounded NFL product than Dexter was. As the year wore on, and by the end, I thought Dexter was the better player than Pickens. And that just came with the natural development of him being in there, him seeing things, him starting to understand things. Then there's a step that happens between year 1 and 2, and you've seen it with the defensive backs.
Yeah.
I assume
they're
you're going to see
flying.
it. Yeah, I assume you're going to see it with the defensive tackles. I'm in. I'm an NFL player. The confidence comes. The questions in the background start to dissipate, and it's like, all right, now let me go out and let me fine tune my craft.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's where Dexter gets. His upside and his ceiling compared to Pickens is a little bit higher. Pickens was more of a finished product, but Pickens got to pick up his game too.
Yeah.
So both of them, the combination of those two guys in the middle with the veteran guys that you have, hopefully there's somebody that can complement Montez Sweat on that side. What they're going to do on the opposite side is still a question mark, but we'll see if it can be developed during the course of the offseason and the training camp.
Yeah, they were very active yesterday. Again, no pads, so you can't.
You can't judge
anything. But just seeing him with no hesitation. We're seeing him in OTAs yesterday. There was last year. There was a ton.
Right, he's physically better. I think mentally he's better.
Yeah,
physically and mentally, both of those make him better this year. And really, that's what you're waiting for. A second-round draft choice. That's the step. You addressed your interior position last year. And now you're hoping for the maturity in the middle for those guys to become that, for him to shake that Florida two-gap system that he was playing. That was going to take a little while to break some of those bad habits.
Yeah.
Like a golfer trying to break his swing. You got a bad swing that's developed over the course of time. It doesn't take one day to break those bad habits. It's going to take repetition over and over. So hopefully Dexter does it this year.
Oh, I'm buying some golf stuff, Jurko. I'm trying to fix the swing this year.
Well,
I'm trying to get ready for gripping and zipping here.
I got some simple things, small, little, easy lessons. It all starts with the grip. If your grip's off, everything's going to be off. So
I do the thumb and thumb. I don't know. Is that?
No, that's not anything.
That's not,
so
okay.
You either, and I'm going to try because I don't want the mic to fall on me. You go interlock.
Yeah.
Right. Interlock, overlap, which you're not interlocking the fingers. You're overlapping. This feels more like one piece. This just gives you a little bit different freedom. But most mistakes are made with the left hand. Now, the way you sit and stand, your hands just naturally rest to your side. That's the way you should grab the golf club. So left hand's a little bit stronger, right hand's right here in a kind of a neutral grip, not underneath like this, and not a weak right hand grip, which will cause you problems. So if you've got a weak right hand grip, you're going to hit soft little puff balls off to the right. If you got too strong of a grip underneath, you could risk the fact that you're going to wrap the ball around, you're going to send it over the left side on a nice hook. So, and the other drill you do is you take one of the sticks that they have now for golfers, and you put it over the ball, one end over the ball, and you put the other on like I'd say it's a 30-degree angle. And what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to come from here, come inside the ball, and never touch that. If you come up over the top, then you're going to cross your plane and you're going to smack that stick right in the back. You'll probably snap the grip, might even damage your club. But the point is to bring it back and to bring it through, get it to the ball, and finish with a nice high finish up. And then you'll be in pretty good shape. Now, I could talk the game.
Yeah.
I understand the game.
Yeah.
I understand how to chip. I understand it all. But then the execution of it is a little bit different. I can talk it all. I can talk myself into a beautiful chip. I can talk myself into it. But then just some bad habits I've had over the course of a lifetime, because I get a little barrel chested. I get back there and I'm like, come here, I'm there. And then all of a sudden, my first move, instead of being with the hips to clear, keeping the hands back with a nice lag, and then dropping into the slot right there, Fat Johnny goes and turns and brings everything with him.
A little baseball action.
And now I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I got to cast the club. I got to try to time it out, get it, and I just flail at the ball weakly and ugly, and it's terrible. So, but I mean, it can happen in the same round. You can be stroking the ball great, and then all of a sudden, one bag swing, and you're like, "Why, Mama Mia?"
It's the first sport to ever humble me, and I was like, "I'm not good at this." It's the first sport ever. First
sport that humbled me was the curveball. The minute the curveball was introduced, I was like, "What in the hell is going? What was that?" I'm bailing out of the box, and they called strike three, and I just said, "What just happened?"
Glenn,
so that's the first sport that fails you.
You know what? I guess I will say this. 100% right.
Yeah. The
Because
second sport that fails you or frustrates you is golf.
yeah.
And, I used to play, grew up in Cook County. So I used to have the Cook County card, $3. Mr. Martino was our pro over at Burnham Woods. So it was Burnham Woods in River Oaks in Calumet City, basically. All we had to do was go over the rainbow, the Burnham Bridge to get to Burnham. And we had 2 courses within our own city that we can go play for $3 as long as you're willing to walk. The Cook County card. It's the county card. That's what we called it. I paid maybe $5 for the card. You had to prove where you lived, to bring in a bill from your father. And then you got your county card. You showed it, $3. You play all day. You go there, it's 8 in, and you just keep playing. That's it. It was beautiful.
Back in the day.
Well, what are we going to do during the summer? We couldn't sit in the bars. We
Yeah.
were 13, 14, 15. Can't sit in the bars yet, right?
I mean, it depends on the bar.
You can go play softball, but softball usually played at night.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Let's go play some golf. And then we got some hand-me-downs from some of the older guys, and we started going out and playing golf, trying to find balls, digging for balls so we didn't have to buy balls. We're using broken tees, trying to figure things out.
Were you a range ball guy?
I don't like the range still to today, but I realized that I've got to hit the range a little bit just to get warmed up.
Yeah.
You don't want your first shot. Like yesterday, I left here 3:00 and I'm teeing off at 4:06 in Glenwood, Illinois. And first shot is off the first tee. Trying to warm up, trying to do a couple exercises. Under my left hand, make sure I get that nice rotation in the right hand. Make sure I'm releasing the club where I get the most impact, stuff like that. But that's the way it is now. When I play Monday morning in the big Skins game we've got going, I'll hit the range a little bit before then.
Yeah.
Because, it's important to be playing well early. You can't give 3 holes away because there's some decent money out
There's
on that.
There's some
Saturday morning, same thing. I tee off about 8:10, 8:30.
That the weekend? A little golf this weekend?
Saturday and Monday.
Yeah.
Sunday, I got to get to my flowers. I haven't planted yet.
Jurko the gardener.
It's been somewhat tumultuous out there by me as far as the storms.
How the cicadas by you?
Not bad yet. They're coming.
I don't know if ours showed up. They were a little early.
Yeah.
House covered.
Yeah. Well, at the club,
house has been covered.
At the club by me, between the 6th and 7th hole, there's a tree that's got all the molted husks.
Yeah. So they're there.
They're there.
Yeah.
And you see them. They're flying around. They haven't started to sing yet, though.
Oh, it's
when they start singing, that means they're all horned up. Then there's some good things about to happen where they're going to make little cicadas and then they go back into the ground, die, and do what they do.
17 years later, we'll see them all back.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's two sounds I'm getting now. You're getting the normal, the buzz, and then there's one that sounds a little didgeridoo-ish. I don't know if you know about the didgeridoo.
That sounds
the big
Australian.
Horn. Yeah, the big Australian horn.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, there's
open the window at night. That'll send you right to sleep. I don't know if that's what I want.
But you got to be careful there, Jurk. They're hitting the windows hard. I thought somebody was breaking it.
I got birds hitting the window anyway in the morning. I hear it. I go, another dead bird.
Are you doing the Minnesota Vikings situation at the house?
I leave my windows dirty. They should be able to know that that's not a thoroughfare. It's dingy. Maybe it's too nature-like. Maybe I should put a chamois on them so they can see the sparkling reflection. But
a little shimmer.
I don't want to clean my windows too early, the outsides. I don't want to clean them too early because you still got some of that pollen that's coming out. And you can tell, you'll get up in the morning and you look at your car and there's like a little yellow sting on it. And it's like, what is this? You run your finger and it's pollen.
Yeah.
So you do your windows too early. They get pollinated. What the hell are you doing anyway?
Yeah, you didn't fix anything. Yeah. All right, let's get to the questions. Mailbag questions, good kid. People asking questions all over the world, I would assume. Let's start it off with this. For Jurko, how much extra do football players that was written out crazy. How much extra do football players focus in on, I just got to read, or care when they're facing their former team?
I think it matters because you want to play well.
Got a lot of guys doing it this year.
Yeah, I don't think you want to look like garbage when you go up against your old team. So I never got a chance. When I left Green Bay, I never got a chance to play against Green Bay.
I was just asking
when I left
Eric,
Miami, I got a chance to play against Miami, and I had a good game.
Yeah.
And I was happy. I mean, they moved on. It was no big deal for them. I was just a practice squad guy. I never played, but I created a little bit of havoc in that game. So they still beat us, but I played well against them, which was important. And then when I was with Cleveland, I played against Jacksonville, and we had such a bad team in Cleveland. They didn't roll over us. They ended up beating us. And I don't remember the score. It was 99. We went down there in like October of 99. They didn't beat us. I played okay. They introduced us. So I got a nice round of applause for coming back.
Well, that's nice.
That was kind of nice. So I had that going for me.
Yeah, we got a lot of players doing that this year. Kevin Byard, Montez Sweat,
Tennessee, Washington.
I asked Shane Waldron's coaching against his own team,
Seattle,
so maybe there's a little bit of a want for that.
That's the back end of the year. I mean, at that point,
you're not caring about that as much.
You've been in Chicago so long, it doesn't matter. It's when it happens in the first and the second month of the season that it kind of matters, because it's in its infancy. The season is, and you want to go ahead. Everybody believes they could still win something.
Yeah,
they haven't been eliminated from anything yet, so that's what I would say. Early on, it matters more.
Question here: how can you tell in camp if one side of the ball is more dominant than the other? How the weaker side is progressing if they're getting their butts kicked most days?
The defense is going to be ahead of the offense all the time. It's simple,
especially
concept.
This year.
Simple concept, though. The defense has to have one guy make a fantastic play. Like if a corner steps up, gambles, makes an interception, he makes the whole defense look fantastic. A guy decides to go for a little bit of a strip, the ball's on the ground, fumble. Nobody goes to recover it because you want nobody on the ground in training camp. But that happens, you know. So one guy has to step up defensively while 10 guys really do nothing. And the defense as a whole looks like they're superstars. On the offensive side, the line has to block. Everybody has to stay on side. You know, no illegal procedure, no illegal motion. You got to line up right. You got to motion right. You've got to do everything right. And then you got to pass block. Then you got to run the right route. And then the quarterback has to connect with it. So the offense has got so many moving parts and so many things that have to go right for an offensive play to happen. That's why the defense is naturally always ahead of the offense.
Yeah.
So I don't judge the offense till the final preseason game and until the first part of the regular season. Then I'll know what kind of offense I have. Yeah. And I won't be harsh on Caleb Williams the same way I wasn't harsh on Justin Fields. There's going to be a little bit of a process. I expect this team to win. I expect this team to be able to carry their quarterback for a little bit while that quarterback figures it out.
That goes right into this one. At what point in the season do you expect the Chicago Bears offense to be running at 100%?
I'd say week 6. And you're saying 100%. I don't think they're going to run at 100% all year.
Right.
I think they're going to be running at about 93%. Game 6, 93%. I don't even think, I'll be honest with you, Kansas City Chiefs weren't running 100% on their offense, I think, until they got to the playoffs last year. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, everything looked real smooth and everything looked silky. And then their veteran and their experience came into play. Now, all of a sudden, we know when it's go time. And Kansas City has the luxury of having a go time because they've had a number of players that could do it. Now, remember, they're having the same kind of success New England has. New England didn't go to 10 straight Super Bowls. Their early 3-pack that they had.
Oh, yeah. There was 10 years of no Super Bowls.
There was 10 years of we didn't even know. They didn't win. They might have
They didn't win. They were competing.
But they didn't win a Super Bowl for 10 more years. So, you know, that happens sometimes when you got the same team, same guys.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to get back there year after year, year after year, year after year. But last year was Kansas City. That took a while, and then they finally hit at the end of the year.
Are we entering kind of an era again where teams are more willing to keep the team together? I feel like we've seen so much. This isn't on the paper, but I feel like we've seen so much of where, we've got a couple of years of this. It didn't work. It's time to move on from these guys.
Listen, even Kansas City let go of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Kansas City let go of Orlando Brown Jr. Guys that were getting paid a lot of money, guys that were playing integral positions, but at some point they've been able to say, all right, we're going to take Tyreek, we're going to turn him into assets. We're not going to pay Orlando Brown Jr.
Right.
So they've been able to do that, replace guys, and play at enough of a level to still be able to play championship football. I mean, they've won 2 championships without Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah. He only has Tyreek only got one, right?
Hey,
Tyreek's only got one ring, I believe.
And Tyreek Hill has been fantastic for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
So it's worked for the Miami Dolphins, but they knew they couldn't pay everybody, and somebody couldn't get paid. They were going to get paid elsewhere.
Yeah.
But Kansas City couldn't pay them. So they've been smart too. And no matter what, it's not that you're keeping the team together. It's that you've got to make the wise choices on what you can and cannot do and how much you're going to spend. And then ultimately, who's going to get paid elsewhere because we can't pay everybody.
I think
that's it. That's the challenge.
I know it sucks to say.
That's what the draft daddy's got to figure out.
Oh yeah,
I know who the draft daddy is.
Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles. Oh yeah. You know.
Yeah, he's Velus Jones Jr.'s draft daddy.
Hey, listen.
Because the only reason Velus Jones Jr. is on this team is because his draft daddy is the general manager.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. When I looked back there in that kickoff attempt with the new rules yesterday and all that, I was like, "What the heck's Dante Pettis doing back there?" And then I started looking around the field, and I'm like,
"There is no Velus.
Velus isn't here. Right? Where are you at? Yeah. What do you got going on? You don't get voluntary, but what'd you say?
No.
What'd you say?
It's 100% voluntary.
You said draft daddy on.
Yeah, but it's draft daddy. Sure, he's got that, so he's going to be okay. But the point is, it's voluntary.
Yeah,
I don't blame the players. Because the owners said, we're not going to give you any more money, but you can have time off, and voluntary means voluntary.
Yeah.
So why would I blame the players? I'm not. I blame the owner. Velus Jones Jr., Nate Davis, Montez Sweat, anybody who had graduations, anything, whatever they got going on. I don't blame the players for treating voluntary as voluntary. It's not non-voluntary.
Right.
It's voluntary. So I don't get on the players for it at all. They got something that they deem more important. They got a mandatory camp coming up.
Yeah.
Guess what's going to happen? 100% attendance at the mandatory camp.
Yeah.
Nobody will be missing the mandatory camp. Why? Because you can get fined.
Right.
So if you're going to get fined, you're not going to miss. So I don't blame the players. Blame the owners. You don't like somebody. Sylvie was blaming Nate Davis yesterday. I don't blame Nate Davis.
No.
Call George and blame George because they didn't want to give the players more money. They will give you time off. And then they're going to pretend like, it's voluntary. And then they're on their coaches, get their asses over here. No. If I'm a player and they sign me to Nate Davis's contract, you know when you'd see me? The first day of training camp and anything that's mandatory.
Yeah.
After that, you'd never see me if you signed me to that contract. I never had the luxury of having a contract like that.
Right.
I didn't have a choice. Voluntary was mandatory for me. Whether I liked it or not, that's just the way it was.
You might not be there if you don't show up.
100% correct.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't that good.
Right.
If you're not good enough, guess what you got to do? You got to
be
be there all the time. And that's just the truth. That's the way it works.
I thought that was the little Velus. That's the Velus point to me, ain't
right,
it? Though? I mean, that's the. I mean, listen, that was my point with Velus there. I was like,
I know.
I like to see you in that new kickoff, but he has been there. We saw him in the video where Caleb was throwing. He's been up there. Everybody's been up there.
He's got the draft daddy, the daddy of the draft daddy.
I don't know, Jurko. I'm telling you, the way Richard Hightower defends him, I think there's some unsightly pictures in Velus's phone. Of maybe one of his coaches or something.
There might be. There might be.
My God,
there might be something surrealist going on.
Caleb had a luncheon with Brady and Jay-Z. If you could pick two living influential people to have a luncheon with, who would that be? Very interesting combination there.
It wouldn't be Brady and Jay-Z. I promise you that. Two living people that I'd want to have lunch with. Wow. I guess Tiger would be one of the guys that I'd want to have lunch with.
That's a good name.
And Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Tiger and Elon Musk. I'd want to have lunch with those two guys.
Would you have a conversation with Musk about how X is where the idiots go to play?
Nope.
Okay.
I'd talk to him about the politics of dancing.
The politics
and see
of dancing.
If we can get to the bottom line of what the Charleston dance or waltz. Which one is it? Yeah. I think we'd figure it out.
You just throw him off. Just
throw him off a little bit.
He'd be stumbled by the question, and you just talk to Tiger the rest of the lunch.
Oh no, I think Elon would be a conversationalist. I think he's very worldly.
I do.
I think he knows a lot.
Would be my two.
Tiger and Elon.
I love the Tiger pull. Let me get Tiger and Dion. Oh, Deion Sanders.
Deion
Prime
Miller?
time. Prime time.
I've talked to prime
time.
I've talked to prime time.
Yeah.
I've been on the same field as
Yeah,
prime
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So I understand why your interest in prime time would be there. I've seen him. Jamie Dukes.
Yeah.
Of the two that used to host the show, Jamie Dukes and Deion Sanders together, Jamie Dukes the more interesting party.
Yeah.
I promise you that. That's for me. I mean, I love Deion. I love what he did with Colorado. I love the confidence that he brings to the table.
Yeah.
And the confidence that he tried to instill in his players. Ultimately, you can do a lot with confidence, but at the end of the day, you also have to have the substance to go along with the confidence. But he did bring a bravado there. And there is no gray area that he is the best corner that has ever played in this league. When they truly say he can shut half the field down, that's what it felt like.
That's a shutdown corner right there.
He's the shutdown corner.
Yeah.
Everybody else that gets that, Revis Island, sorry, Revis.
Revis Island had a moment.
Sorry.
It was a moment.
It was a moment.
Said
it perfectly.
It was a moment.
It had a moment.
Yeah.
In time.
It was not a career.
It existed very quickly.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Strange's window when he opened
3 years.
up. Remember Dr. Strange's window? He opened up and then he traveled through it and it closed. That was Revis Island.
Oh, you only get this with the good kid. I love it. Appreciate you coming through as always. Good
Elon.
kid.
Hi, Elon.
Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page.
Even Elon knows that that's where idiots go to play. That's why he came there to figure out what the
I love his Twitter profile or his X profile, whatever it is, just trolling. And did you
see the girl ask him a question yesterday? She said she was from Business Insider. He got up there and goes, it's not real. He goes, next question. It's not real. Like Business Insider. He just said it's not real. Next question.
Yeah, I'll stay safe out there, Chicago.
Click, whatever you guys want.
Shout out to the good kid. Peace. Bear down. A little bear claw action for you. There you go, right there. Strong claw.
What's that?
Strong claw. Notice the point. This is the bear claw. This is what Caleb's been doing.
I'm not familiar with that.
Now, you haven't been seeing the claw pics?
The only bear claw I know is a pastry.
Oh, okay. I got nervous.
You give me a nice pastry, a nice bear claw.
Yeah.
Ooh,
there's a day.
I don't know what this is. Yeah.
Let's see. That's a weak claw. That's a weak claw.
Yeah.
You gotta go strong. Little right here. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Look at me. Yeah.